All right, man. I've been on this journey for 4 months, I guess. My math is not serving me, but I would say pretty close to 4 months as far as semen retention goes. No fap has been all year, but no fap to ejaculation, that is. Wink. Because if you watch one of my, I don't even know if I uploaded the video yet at this point. But I did. Oh yeah, actually I did. I did a video on the edging technique, something that I've been practicing. Not too much, but definitely in bed, but not so much with the masturbation aspect, which is something I wouldn't recommend to somebody who's having a problem with masturbation. But anyway, here's 3 lessons and maybe a little bonus that I learned from my journey so far in the semen retention world. So, the first thing, I was so desperate for 5 seconds of bliss. Now, when I look at my life, it hasn't been all that adventurous. It hasn't been all that fulfilling. You know, just over the years, it hasn't really been all that exciting. Nothing worth writing about. In fact, the things that are worth writing about were pretty traumatic, were pretty bad, were things that I had to overcome. But not many experiences of, I've never been on a plane, never been to Disney World, and never been highly celebrated. And I've always been an introvert, always been shy, and the highlights of my life were probably through sex and TV. And that would be it, up to this point. I mean, a lot of my joy does take, obviously joy is an internal thing, but nothing really external brought about any bit of bliss. Not too much. It's always been in the pursuit of pussy and having that, and then the little bit of bliss that you feel from jerking off, and that's been about it. So I was so desperate for just a couple of seconds. And I was doing it to a detriment, to some detriment, because we don't get away scot-free after having, our 5 seconds of bliss. And I couldn't help but think, like, if I had a lot more going for me, I wouldn't be so desperate. I wouldn't be, just jumping at the opportunity to get my precious fluid out of me. Some of my most precious fluid. And more on that later. But the second thing is that I mostly saw women as sexual objects. It's kind of dirty to think. I'm obviously still very much raw. I'm still lustful, and women are still very much sexy and still on my list. But now that I see them as more than sexual objects, I feel like my lens has gotten wider. I feel like my life has more fulfillment in it. Because here I am, a guy who's already been an introvert, and I don't really hang around the guys too much anymore. Don't want to drink or smoke, or if I do drink, I'm drinking by myself or with my woman. That left me to only pursue women whenever I did, because I kind of failed at it. But anyway, I pursued women, or I would just jerk it out, watching porn and things like that, and that would be it. But very, very quickly on this journey did I start to realize how I was really playing women short, and how I would have been doing myself a great deal of service had I actually tried to make friends with them. Not necessarily with ulterior motives, not to have ulterior motives, but to actually have friends with them. Make friends with them. And women want sex just as much as men. It's just that they're so used to having the same approach, the same unsolicited approach, that it's. And they may subconsciously know that they have the power also, but they're turned off from such a pursuit. Okay, And actually, ulterior motives aside, I probably would have had much better luck as far as having sex with women if I actually just wanted to be their friends and get to know them, you know. So that's just one thing that I noticed. And the third thing, and I alluded to it earlier, is that our orgasms are something that we are recovering from. So I had to do a little research because I wasn't entirely sure, but I had heard before that, you know, this may have something to do with the fact that women outlive men. So then I started to look up what was in our semen, and no surprise, there's 200 separate proteins plus the vitamins and minerals, including calcium, magnesium, B12, vitamin C, and zinc, amongst other things. You know, so we are kind of making ourselves a bit deficient over the long haul of all these after all these ejaculates. You know, after ejaculating so much, it's not a natural thing. I mean, it's natural to ejaculate, but we're supposed to let our sperm mature. Our sperm doesn't mature until after 100 days, and I guess I just reached that point not too long ago. If I'm not reaching that point right now, so you could just imagine how much recovering we've been doing. You know, like we're trying to recover from something, and then before we even get a chance to recover from it, we are resetting it all over again. That's aging us, you know. That's starting to, you know, that's keeping the aging process going. Now, I'm surprised I haven't aged as fast as I believe I should have. But I mean, I'm definitely experiencing that in the hair. But you know, you can chalk that up to whatever, testosterone, family. I don't know. But it's aging us, and we're making ourselves deficient in amongst other things. So just a little bonus thing, because I'm sure a lot of you guys on this route already know this, on this path you already know this, but we hold the power in the bedroom. Look, I'm gonna be completely honest with you. No matter what I do in the bed, or what I did in the bedroom, when I was ejaculating, and especially when I didn't last as long as I wanted to, and perhaps the woman didn't get the pleasure that she deserved. You know, when the conversation of round 2 comes up, man, I was a bit. It's hard to feel confident when you just like, well, I can't get it back up for you right now, and they want to go, they ready to go, you know, and you like, I can't get it up right now, and this and that. But that's not the issue anymore. Okay, the scenario is this. I can go as many rounds as I want, alright? I'll go until she can tap out, you know? Now, obviously, you don't want to spend all your time in the bedroom. You have a purpose and all this and that, and that's obviously the conversation that you can use when you do ejaculate, when you have sex. But deep down inside, you know, like, I mean, obviously, if you feel nothing, you feel nothing, but you can't hide your insecurities, you know. You know, even if you can hide it from the person you're having sex with, you can't hide it from yourself. But I no longer have that insecurity. You know, like I said, I can go until it hurts, pretty much. And so that's very powerful. At any given moment, they want to talk some shit. You know, you're there to put them to it. All right. So you don't have to have none of these goddamn little moral victories where you didn't perform your best, and she says, "Oh, there, you know, you made me come many times, and I'm sure you'll do it again." No, fuck no. You got me fucked up. You're gonna come every time we have sex, goddammit. And if not, we're gonna keep having sex until you do, because I can just keep going, you know. So that's very powerful. All right. So let me just wrap this up by saying, man, like, when we ejaculate, it's supposed to be a big thing, okay? When we ejaculate, it's supposed to be with the expectation that a child is on the way, or that we're trying to make a child. And once that happens, she's ovulating and all that, then it's the recovery process, and you get back to it. And that's the only way I can really feel happy about having an orgasm in that regard. Now, I understand that people were speaking on there's ways to have orgasms without actually ejaculating, but I'm not really in the mood to experiment with that right now. But maybe in the future I'll try that out and tell you guys about it, but definitely not right now. I mean, it doesn't matter. It could be the baddest woman in the world, and I would not be happy about giving up my precious fluids to in the process of having sex. What I've learned is that this fluid is too precious to just let it go. I wish I would have, honestly. It sounds crazy to say, but I kind of wish I never would have had an orgasm. Well, I was about to say up until my daughter was conceived, but we didn't necessarily plan for that, and I wasn't even in the financial position to be having a child. But whatever, I'm definitely grateful for that. So I hope you guys got some value out of this. Let me know what you want to hear next. Tell me if I'm just being redundant, if I'm being, if I'm not making much of a point, if I'm not adding value, because I don't want to waste your time. But thank you for tuning in, as always. Take care.